Hey, what's up guys? It's Foster and we have the WRX at the shop today. And as you know from watching the last video, this car has a ton of issues. Now, number one on my list is gonna be changing out the brakes because at the moment it's pretty sketchy to drive this car. It doesn't stop very well and it squeals, so I'm pretty sure it's completely out of pads. So we're gonna be changing the front and the rear pads. So I got the wheel off and I'm looking at the calipers and they're a little worse than I thought they were. It looks like the previous owner or someone else had painted over a rusty caliper. And not only that, but they painted with them on the car. You can tell they didn't remove them either, which is kind of annoying because it got everywhere where it's not supposed to get. It's all over these dust boots and it's all over the brake pads too. So clearly the pads weren't even removed from the calipers. So this is kind of an example of what happens when you buy cars for cheap. Obviously some corners have been cut and maybe it's just an experience thing as well, not knowing how to properly do the job, but I have a lot of work ahead of me to try and get this WRX back to how it should be and to make it a clean street car. Okay, so this project was going smoothly. I got the passenger side caliper off and the caliper bracket. Then I go to remove the driver's side caliper bracket, and unfortunately, I broke off a bolt that's holding it onto the hub. So now I'm gonna have to try and drill off this bracket or hammer it with a big hammer. I'm not sure exactly what we're gonna do yet, so stay tuned. I'll show you what I'm gonna end up doing. But this is what happens when you live in the Midwest, in the Rust Belt. Cars get really hard to work on, unfortunately. So I've been a little bit spoiled working on the Super Speed WRX and all the cars in our shop here. They don't ever see real road conditions, but if you actually drive your car, this is a more likely situation to happen. All right, got it all as one piece. Before you guys roast us for not using a vise, we don't have one at the shop at the moment, but we do have a bolt extractor on there and we're actually getting this thing to turn, so it looks like it might actually work out. All right, now that we finally got the caliper bracket off of the WRX, we did fight that for quite a while, we can install our new brakes. Now, I'm super excited that I'm gonna be running Faction Fab rotors and pads. These are gonna be a great upgrade over what I used to have on the car. They're gonna provide a bit of a performance benefit as well. And specifically this rotor is slotted, so that'll be a lot better for heat dispersion than the stock rotors, which aren't slotted. So I'm really excited that I'm running Faction Fab rotors and pads on the front of this thing. And then for the rear, I have a box of eBay rotors and pads. Not very excited about the eBay quality, but in the end of the day, it's the rear. It's not quite as important as the front. So let's go ahead and get these Faction Fab rotors and pads on the car. I ran to the dealership and I got some new hardware for the caliper. It was like $24 for 4 bolts, so it was actually kind of expensive. But in the end of the day, it is what it is, and I don't want to have this problem again if I go to work on the car, so I figured it'd be worth it for some new hardware. Oh yeah. Look at that. That puppy's toast. There's no brake pad left at all. That's crazy. All right, I'm finally done with the brake job on the WRX. It definitely took me a little bit too long, but in the front here we have Faction Fab rotors and pads. I really love the way that these bi-directional rotors look, and I know that these are gonna be a nice performance upgrade over what I had on the car before. Then in the rear, we have just some generic eBay rotors and pads. They're not the best, but they're gonna get me going for now. And before I do any track days or anything like that, I'm gonna switch these out for some high performance pads. So I think I'm gonna end it here for tonight. We're gonna keep working on the WRX tomorrow, so I'll see you guys then. All right, it's day 2 and we're back working on the WRX today. I've got a couple different things on my list, but first things first, I gotta fix the AC because it's the middle of summer here in Iowa. It's about 95 degrees out and it's absolutely killing me. So I've got a can of AC recharge and we're gonna see if we can get my AC to blow cold again. Well, this project might have to be put on hold until another day. I warmed up the engine and I was noticing that the compressor wasn't turning on for some reason. So I went to remove this engine cover and of course all the tabs on it are broken, so that's fun. But more importantly, the compressor itself is not turning on. So it might be an issue with the clutch. I'm not sure, I might have to just get a new compressor, but until I get that figured out, I'm not gonna add refrigerant to my system. That just seems like that's not gonna fix the issue. So now I'm gonna have to get a new AC compressor as well. So I guess add that to the list of parts I need to buy. So for some reason, this car only has tint in the front driver's window. It doesn't have tint anywhere else around the car. So I'm guessing the previous owner did that to save a little bit of money. I mean, you still get the protection from the sun, but I really don't like the way it looks with just one window tinted. So my project for tonight is to remove this window tint. And down the road, I might still tint it later. I might get something done, but in Iowa, you can't go this dark in the front. So it would have to be a lot lighter than this. So let's go ahead and get this off the car. We did it. That wasn't so bad. After a failed attempt of fixing the AC in the WRX last week, I actually had to order in a new AC compressor. Well, it's not technically new, it's used. It's an OEM unit with about 80,000 miles. I got this for about $80 compared to the new ones go for about $250. So I feel pretty good about the deal I got on it. And I did get the refrigerant drained in the WRX. So all we gotta do today is put this in the car and we should be good to go. Oh yeah. All right, we got the old compressor out. Let's stick the new one in and we should be good to go. So I got the old AC compressor out pretty easily. That wasn't too bad of a project. It is pretty dirty underneath of there, so I'm gonna clean that up before I reinstall it with some brake clean. And another thing I gotta do is I have to go pick up a new Serpentine belt. I'm not sure how well you can see on camera, but this one's super old and cracked. So while I'm at it, I might as well go ahead and replace my Serpentine belt too. Since my car is disassembled, I get to take the SubiSpeed WRX to the store, which I'm looking forward to. This thing is a blast to drive. And it's a good reminder too of why I'm doing this WRX project, because you can take a car that's completely stock and transform it into a beauty like this. Definitely not sponsored by AutoZone, but I just think the car looks really cool in front of the shop. All right, perfect. Thank you so much. Things are looking a lot better in the engine bay. I kind of went a little crazy with the brake clean, but it's all clean and ready to go. And I got my new compressor with the bracket installed, so we should be good to stick this in the car. I'm excited because last time I tried this project, the compressor wasn't engaging, like the clutch wasn't engaging. and it looks like it's actually working. The can is getting really cold, and we're in the green range, so I'm pretty close to being done, I think. I think it's actually gonna work. All right, here's the real test, see how it feels. Ooh, baby, yeah, the AC is working. All right, we got one thing done at least. So we're making really good progress fixing up the WRX, and it's already so much better to drive now that I got working AC in the summer, and the brakes don't squeal, which is nice when you pull up to a red light and you don't have to listen to that, as well as that ugly window tint is removed. Obviously though, there's a lot more problems with this car than I'm gonna be able to fix in one video. So if you guys are liking this WRX content, make sure you subscribe to my channel and hit that like button, because I have a ton of future videos planned for this car, including a catback exhaust and a new steering wheel in one of the future videos, so you don't want to miss out on that. With that being said, thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.